Just thought that I found. I'm so
That was
sorry.
so funny.
Well, welcome to our Parks Trails Recreation meeting. Um, Do we have any public comment? We've got, let's see, where are we on the minutes? It's not even on.
Yeah,
Oh, that's,
I sent them out.
yeah.
On the other table.
So we've got a quorum, so we can vote on the minutes from October, gosh, 2022.
Yes. That's
Okay. I've read them. I approve, or I vote that we approve the minutes.
I'll second
Um,
Hi, everyone.
Aye.
Hi.
All in favor? Yes, aye. Ordinance for trails review. Does everybody have that? No, that's just some stuff I put together for lighting.
Not on the agenda that she sent.
No. It's ordinance number 2022-35. Huh? Yep. Sure. No, it's not very long. It's basically the same as it was before,
Yeah,
sort of.
refresh.
Definitions: animal, any non-human living creature. 2, litter, any wrapper, food or water covering, paper product or organic commodity. 3, motorized vehicle, any type of motorized vehicle such as ATV, UTV, motorcycle, etc. Electric vehicle, any type of self or pedal propelled vehicle which is propelled in whole or in part by an electric motor. Section D, prohibitions. It is prohibited to use any gas or electric powered vehicle with a wheel width measured from the outside of the front or rear wheel to the outside of the opposite wheel, which is greater than 50 inches wide on the switchback trail. Bollards may be installed at the trailhead to better control this prohibition. It is prohibited to litter along the trail within limits of the city of Woodland Hills. What you bring in, you take out. Motorized vehicle use throughout the city on designated trails is limited to the hours between 7 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. or as designated in the city's Disturbing the Peace Ordinance, City Code 5-5B and C, whichever is more restrictive. Any dog not on a leash or properly controlled on or off the trail will be considered not under control, and the owner will be subject to any fines or violations as stated in Section E penalties. Any animal defecation on or off the trail must be picked up and carried out by the person in charge of the animal. E, penalties. Any person violating any of the prohibitions listed in Section D of this chapter can be charged with a Class C misdemeanor, which is subject to a fine up to $750. So that's the ordinance. And any questions?
Our proposal to push that to the planning commission.
No, that's been adopted.
That's adopted.
Yeah,
It's done. So
yeah.
we're good there.
We're good there. So we need to talk about the signs that we want to put on the trail. The grant, I believe, which has not been approved yet.
Submitted.
I've submitted and I submitted on time. Should be next week. I touched base with DNR today. I think I asked for 4 signs.
Where are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, you've seen the silver poles, silver pole, the city puts their signs on, they're tall. You can get more than one of those, more than one sign.
Sign on them.
Yeah. One may be going this way or another going this way or vice versa. By where the bollards are will be, I'm going to call it Tullers Trailhead there. The avalanche warning sign will have to be moved because it's been buried. So suggestions for what we should put there at Tullers Trailhead.
a size restriction on the sign?
Ah,
Like a 4 by 18, or are we just thinking whatever?
trying to think what mine is.
We definitely want something there that maximum trail, motorized trail access of 50 inches, some verbiage that spells that out.
And
And
do
it
you
has
think
to
we
be
ought to
taller.
reference?
It has to be taller now, right? Or
Yes.
then
Yeah.
For the snow.
If we reference the ordinance number,
Yeah, but you'd want to more.
And
you
then
want to
say
reference
50
these two-
inches.
Yeah, you want to say that, and then you can always just say.
okay,
That way, if somebody has an issue, they know that there's something.
I think too that the hours
Yes,
should be posted.
yeah, so the
So
50
should
inch,
we
the
have a
hours,
List of just the things we want on.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just gonna start writing those down. Start over so I can get them. One is the,
width,
okay, the width, okay, so these are the things that we need. We need the width of the sign
mm-hmm.
and the height.
Well, heights, they can take in whatever height they want, they just can't take anything in bigger than 50.
Oh, you're talking about the vehicles going
Yeah.
in. I thought we were talking about, okay, so these are on the sign. Right. okay.
that's about the size I think that the city's using.
So it's roughly about a 12 by
This is the one
18 or
that-
something like that, yeah. That's what I was thinking too, so,
Okay, so this is gonna be the list of the verbiage that we want on the sign.
yes.
And we kind of have to make sure we bring that all. Of the, vehicles.
50-inch
50 inch width maximum,
50?
yeah, and then you do ordinance XYZ, hours. In fact, if all these are in that same ordinance,
They
you
are.
could just reference that width at the end of it if it's all on the same sign.
Do
In
all of
addition
it on
to-
the same sign.
Okay, and then the hours that the trail is
7
open?
This is
Yes.
motorized, right? The trail's all,
Okay, so is the trail always open?
foot traffic's 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pending avalanche and winter conditions, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so hours for trail usage,
For motorized trail usage.
motorized, yes, yes. Motorized.
7 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. The city can't close the trail. That's what I was told. They were told not to close it, I believe, for the reason that when you close it, it kind of publicizes it, and people want to get out there, see it.
So they've posted the avalanche warnings is what they've been doing the last couple months, where they just said, hey, right now it's avalanche, be careful. So that's our way to handle that.
And I called the general manager, I think he is, Royce is his name, from Elkridge, to ask him if he had a PTR committee to liaison with, because I've spoken to 2 people the same day from Elkridge who were trying to go up the trail. So how do our neighbors who use our trail get to know? He said he would put the word out. It's avalanche danger, because you can't see it. Sign's
Oh, I see what
buried.
you're saying,
Yeah.
because that message is always only going to our city. Yeah.
So hours, 50 inch width.
Hours of 50 inches.
And put
What-
the avalanche warning sign.
Sign
on.
could be separate or on the same pole.
Yeah.
I think you need to post in there, please bring out all trash, or, basically the things in that ordinance.
Okay,
Whether you want to call it leave no trace, most people understand what that means.
well, that's a good one.
Yeah, if you want to say leave no trace, what you take in, bring out. Yeah, most people nowadays know what that means, although
Yeah, I
some
think so
don't.
too.
Any other signs that we wanted to do? I think we could put up by the water tank where that big wooden placard is with the description of the plants. We could just go around the perimeter there if we wanted to do more.
I mean, someday, I know they presented it last week, the mitigation and all that up there. Someday that will all get done, and then that will be a permanent thing, and then additional signage and parking and all that can be, I think, addressed at that time. Obviously, at this point, we're not.
We're 2 to 3 years
I know we are.
for that. And my understanding is it'll come from the Broad Hollow side. That's
Yeah.
where the road's going.
Yeah, I saw that with Ted today, and
Yeah.
he says that access from Broad Hollow is going to become more, I can't think of the word he used, more prevalent than it currently is, yeah.
There is. Yeah,
Okay, so what I'd like to do here is, in general terms, I have.
that really is describing why the bollards are
Yes, the 50-inch explains the bollards. The hours are a courtesy, the motorized access is limited, which the can't, you know.
there. Well, I looked into a gate, but because there's no power,
It would be
the
hard.
toolers, it would have to go on easement, and I need to get Taylor's permission to do something like that. But there's power right there. I've talked to Corbett about it. There's
Yeah.
power right there. And it closes at 10:30. Stuck up there. Too bad, too sad.
Either way, whether that goes forward later on, still want this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking these
Yeah.
are more closer to where the bollards are,
Right.
this kind of
Yeah.
section.
Because people
that'll
would
go in and that-
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the bollards, then that will explain why, at least,
And they
I'll explain.
should be able to turn around. Big log is there. I'm thinking about a big UTV. Coming down the hill.
down through the
by the
dip,
dirt pile.
yeah. They can back out. I'm sorry,
They wouldn't do it again.
I don't have much
Is there,
sympathy.
is it still, is it still covered with snow right now?
Last time I was up was January 20th.
Things are melting.
Yeah.
It's
Having,
gonna
having
be-
said it, that eastern side, southern up against the hills, still gonna hold on a little bit longer, but things are melting fast.
2 years ago, when the avalanche destroyed the geofence, Jeff and I were up there May 28th, and there was still snow,
Mhm.
just at the turn. This year, it may be July. There's a lot of snow.
There's a lot of
up
snow
there right
this year.
now.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow this year.
It's huge to go around.
Okay, anything else for the sign that you're thinking of? I mean, we can add something more, but let's get the verbiage just exactly how we want it on the sign right now.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is the width of the vehicles. What would be the closest,
If-
same thing to say.
50-inch maximum width
How about-
allowed. That's for anything. If you are bigger than 50 inches yourself, you can't go. So just, you don't have to say motorized, just 50-inch maximum width allowed.
Okay, and that would be, those are the, that were 50-inch.
Maximum width allowed.
How about across the top, per and then the ordinance number, underneath
Yeah, well,
50 inches max and 7.
okay, yeah, you put the ordinancing on the top.
Yeah.
You could write that.
Okay, do you want anything else on the top like that? Okay.
So per ordinance, 1, 2, 3, 1-2-2, and then you could list the 3 or 4 bullet points there.
Okay, and it's 2022-35? What is the
It's
ordinance?
11-5-9,
Dashes like,
just, yeah.
oh, oh, okay, oh, that's it, okay. 11, and then C? Oh,
Well,
C,
C, D, and E is what was revised in the ordinance.
So that's,
It's the ordinance. Go through the codified.
and it's not this? No, ordinance number. That's
No,
just-
that's,
So it should, is this what you want on it?
yes.
Okay, so is it called per ordinance?
An ordinance, you could go ORD period. Otherwise you'll run out of room quick.
C, D, and E. We need to write
Do
that
your
down.
phone.
I don't think so.
Are those the numbers we're doing?
C, D, and E was what was redefined. in
Okay,
the-
yeah.
So I'll just do 11, 5, and 9.
We're talking about the signs.
Yeah, I
Just
figured.
Just get the exact verbiage.
I know, we want it to, it's got to be real concise. Sounds like you guys have got it, though.
Well, we got item 1,
So, okay, so just the width. we'll do it-
maximum width or 50-inch maximum width allowed.
Okay, that's the first.
Okay, the second one was,
That was about the
hours,
hours for trail usage.
no, it's only motorized. Yeah, motorized, yes. I'm not sure how to tell you to word that, other than that's what it is. Hours of motorized use, 7 a.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Well, I'm thinking if you do the per ordinance number.
People don't care
Marine
about the
motorized
ordinance.
vehicles.
We just reference it on top. That way they know there's some meat to it. I don't think you need to put it after each one.
Okay.
We've just referred to it at the top and
'Cause it's
then
the same ordinance for,
all of
right.
them. Yeah.
yeah,
So just on top, it's just per ordinance, 1, 2, 3.
and then list them.
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, the next two things, one's about the avalanche warning and one's about leave no trace.
Avalanche warning will be a different, because it's not per, it's not per that ordinance. Just take the existing sign up there and,
And then
and this other one is, because it references trash and leaving, just however you want to do it, whether it's leave no trace or all trash must be taken out. I don't know how to word it, but
well, I think most people understand the leave no trace.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's kind of the more
Nomenclature.
modern way to say what you take in.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
leave no trace is short. It's simple. It beats the heck out of all garbage in must be
Yeah, you
removed
could
and
just
taken
say
out.
leave no trace.
I think leave no trace, hopefully 80% of the people would know what that means.
And if you get too wordy, people aren't gonna.
They're not gonna, yeah, we need to keep this real simple and concise.
Okay, so that actually covers the animal thing and the
Yes.
litter. So
Yes,
leave no trace.
Yes.
Got the motorized vehicle thing.
got the hours. Those are the biggies, I think.
Because people are gonna see the bollards.
What?
What?
Yeah,
To give council members an update on the grant, we should hear next week. Contacted DNR today and it's still going through the process, but it was submitted and hopefully we're good to go.
Okay, now on a separate sign on the avalanche.
We're just gonna take-
the avalanche sign's already there.
Okay, so we don't
We're
have
just
worry about
gonna
Take it off.
reattach it or
Put it on a taller pole.
on a taller pole, yes. Nothing of that effect.
Doesn't do any good if it's under the snow. Everything was under the snow this year.
Yep.
Oh,
Ben, how does it feel not to have to worry about 5:30 in the morning and getting a text to go plow?
Give us another month.
Oh, no, please don't say that.
It
Okay,
started
so are
snowing
we
a couple
good
hours
on
ago, but it didn't do.
signs? The bollards on the trail?
I'll put that, this will be in red, so we can refer to that when we are ready to.
Okay.
do that.
It does, yeah. Mentally.
Bollards on the trail. 2 bollards have been requested in the grant.
Okay.
We'll have to take the wood posts down that are there, and the chain. Just so we don't have a lot of stuff on the side of the trail. Grants review, I
Just keep us
updated
on
you on that.
Yeah, so we're waiting for
the grant.
the word on the grant, is that right? What you said?
Yeah, it should
About a
be,
week.
should be next week. And we have 6 months.
To do it?
Yeah, we can apply for higher elevation extension.
I wonder, after, like, if you, how long it takes to get it awarded, like, do we have money?
It's reimbursed.
Oh, that's
We pay
right.
And then city reimbursed. Is
Okay.
reimbursed.
Awesome.
none of these are huge ticket items, so,
We can, yeah. That's when you rob Peter, you pay Paul,
yeah.
and then you pay Peter back.
Lighting ordinance. If this is a direction we'd like to go for one of our next things, I've had input about the basketball court and lighting. The current lighting in ordinance is in this little packet thing that I gave you.
We
So-
talked about not having any lighting.
Yeah, I thought that's.
We'd
Yeah,
already
there's no
we
lighting.
decided that a long
For
time
the
ago.
basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is lighting in
city
general.
Okay,
Can I say something on this? Because I think for Ben and Janet's sake, the city already has a lighting ordinance in effect that
Mhm.
somewhat
It's in here.
works towards, I'll just say, I'm a dark sky advocate because I like the night sky. I don't like all the lights that we have. So what I'm leading up to is some people cringe when they hear that. I think it's an education process as much as anything, educating people what it really means. But our current lighting ordinance as it is, we are our own worst enemy because there's zero enforcement of it. Okay. So it's there. I feel like that lighting information should be part of the builder packet that goes out with the permit process.
it is.
And that's the last anything ever's done with it. That's what I'm just telling.
That's the
The-
last point we have any teeth.
No, you don't. Your final inspection, you can fail
Yeah.
the city final inspection if they haven't met it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the last point we have teeth. Right?
Nothing's being done.
Does a lighting
Yes.
plan have to be submitted for
Well,
So
permit?
they have.
Well, that's what you would have to do is submit a lighting plan. But
Well, the problem.
I have all these Taj Mahals being built up by me, and there's several on Summit Creek. And as I plow that at 4 o'clock in the morning, we've got a runway. I mean, you could land anything anywhere. There's so much light on it.
Installed after.
No, it's not. No, the lighting stuff I'm seeing now is on current construction or homes that are recently that were never enforced at the time of final inspection with the city. There's, well, but I doubt Sunrise is aware that they need to be enforcing that. The question is I would love to see that enforcement because we've got two challenges here. Today and forward, how do we work it? And then going backwards, which is the beast,
You
okay?
can grandfather.
We can work from now moving forward. That's where we need to start off. And let's say moving forward, let's enforce this. Then we can go backwards and educate and see if we can get people to work with that to some degree. But today moving forward, we have full control over. It's an enforcement issue that's not being done. So we don't even need to change anything. Dark sky's got a little bit different criteria, but the bottom line is our city ordinance meets a lot of that dark sky just natural.
There's one thing that I think we need to interject into the ordinance that we currently have, that's on page 2, of what I put, 10.9.4 and 10.8.10. It would be nice to have something, I mean, we have lumens per bulb, but it would be nice to have something for lumens per acre. And as far as grandfathering people in, because some people are pretty lit up. The solution could be go on a timer. You do this part of your house this time, and those go off, and other ones go on, and so we have a dark sky. I think we should do something about lumens per acre. The IDA, let's see, lumen caps of 50 to 100,000 lumens per acre. That was back in 2015.
Can I say something? That's a lot of lumens.
It sure is.
I think that's too high of a number.
Okay. Well, compare lumens to watts. If you have 1,000 lumen bulb, what would you have?
Let's just go
100?
simple. Let's just go simple math. If you're saying 50,000 and you have 1,000 lumen, they can put 50 of those 1,000 lumen bulbs.
That's
Okay.
what I like.
Okay. That even exceeds what some of my neighbors have done, and they've got a lot up there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
I think 50 to 100,000 is too much. You don't want to hear my number.
You do.
I think 500 watts is plenty for exterior.
Oh, per bulb?
No, total.
Oh, total. It's not very much. I mean, I'm thinking,
Excuse me, 5,000.
okay.
Everybody on my street has those strings. I have cafe lights.
And I think that's wrong.
I have them.
I think it's wrong.
And
It
they
annoys
help
you-
me.
It annoys you. How does it help you?
It helps me because my husband is never home and I am out there by myself plowing in the dark and my road goes like this.
I know you're wrong.
And if I get too close to the edge, I don't have the physical strength to get my snow blower back up off the curb. I had to call the neighbors a couple times and say, can someone help me push this damn thing back up? So I
So
have
why do
it
you need
lit
street
up.
lights in the trees for that?
But it's
I
not
have it-
24 hours.
I have it lit up so that when I plow, I can see my whole driveway and I can get it
Okay,
plowed.
so you turn it on, you plow, and then you turn it off?
No, it comes on in the evening.
It stays on all night.
No, it goes off about 9 o'clock.
That's fine.
Well, even if they went off by 10:30,
Yeah.
which is disturbing the peace.
It's kind of a
Is-
10-ish, 11-ish thing.
Yeah,
Prior to
and
that, yeah.
I think we already discussed that it doesn't, yeah, you can have.
And everybody in my street kind of copied me after I got them.
Oh,
They
so
all,
you're the one.
yeah, I started it.
It looks like a Christmas.
Because you've got a neighbor down the street that,
I didn't start that.
that's terrible.
Oh, I agree, and I think he's against something. There's got to be some kind of. It's an eyesore, and I
It
hate
is.
it.
I agree. Guess what? Your current city ordinance would prevent that. We don't even need to pass anything. Your current city ordinance would prevent that if it were enforced. Just giving you some perspective.
But do we want to become a police state that nobody wants to live in?
That's, so what did I?
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
the opposite.
Why did I preface everything? Education,
I know.
And
not enforcement. Enforcement moving forward because you can work with that. As you go backwards, you've got to work from an educational standpoint and perspective, and hopefully convince or at least show people other options.
Because I live here because I don't want to be told what to do.
Mhm.
I do not like to be told what to do. And that's why I live here.
We had a meeting today, remember?
Probably not, but we sure try.
And we were going, it's in the minutes somewhere. You were gonna write up a thing that we could put in
Oh, my infographic.
with
I've
the,
found a lot about those.
yeah, and we were gonna do, well, and it was just gonna be educational, and it was gonna be like, have you thought
Yeah.
about blah, 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 blah? And we were just gonna do it in an educational
Like
and non-threatening
newsletter.
way.
Highlight
Well, the newsletter that nobody can put anything in except for one person,
I put stuff in it all the time.
and she signs off on it and puts it in,
Yes.
Carrie doesn't control that newsletter.
then how can we can never get anything in there?
That's
Different
a
discussion.
whole different discussion of ball of wax. So I have been thinking about them. My life's
You
just
can
been
send them to me
extremely
and I
busy,
can get
so,
them in.
but I will get there.
I will talk.
well, I know when
powers
we
that be.
did the fire expo
You
2
can
years
send
ago,
anything to me.
we had a dark sky
Laurel
blue.
has tried and Craig has
There's
tried.
hardly anybody there. We try to start to educate
Right.
people. I think it's a good idea if
I'm
we start
turning
the
in Saturday.
education now, because as soon
No
as
different.
it gets developed down the hill, that's gonna be lit up.
I'm just saying.
Nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to know that's an option.
I'm
We'll-
very direct.
We'll work, we'll work.
That actually, those houses down the bottom, you know, by the church, they are very lit up.
They are very lit up. Again, I plow in the middle of the night and I see it all. I
Do
see
they
it.
stay lit up
Oh,
all
yes.
night?
Let me put it this way. They're on at 3 and 4 in the morning. I assume they've been on all night at that point because I doubt they woke up right before I came down to turn them on. I really doubt.
Yeah, that-
And there are a lot of lights there.
Well, I just think that's a case, I bet you anything of
They
just
don't
not
know.
knowing, they just don't know that, you know. So,
Here's been my personal experience.
You'd think
with
they
this.
would put them on a timer, because especially as much as electricity
Oh,
costs right
So
now.
here's what,
yeah,
That's why
I don't
mine
know
are
about
on a
your guys'
timer.
power bills the last few months, but that alone should cure this, okay? And it's not, because as of a week and a half ago, at 4 in the morning. I
Just on a
still-
side note, my brother came here from Arizona and he waited until I went to work and then I saw something on the camera and I looked. He backed in and plugged in to charge his freaking car. I'm so mad. He was charging his Tesla. I'm like, did you ask me? Electricity is expensive.
That's like giving you some gas.
I know. I was like, it was like he waited till I left. Literally, I'm driving down the road and he like
So hold on a sec.
backs in
Do
and
you have a plug for a Tesla?
he has a converter. They
Oh,
they come
okay.
with converters
Right.
now. He just he unplugged my deep freeze and plugged in. I was like, are you serious? Anyway,
If that's an option, I'll be up later.
okay.
I don't have a Tesla. I can
I'll find something. Yeah, I think this is worth exploring. This, of everything we have, this is probably the thing that I have the most interest in ongoing.
We talked about calling it something dark sky. What was that? Remember the wording? I know it's dark sky.
It's in our notes somewhere, because we did talk about a
Yeah,
different,
remember that? We kind of worded it
yeah, it was like
so-
4 or 5 word sentence that was a little different verbiage. Yes, I do remember that.
I've,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
If we can find that, let's
When we
refresh
did
our
that
memory on that.
2 years ago, we titled it something different.
Let's find out what that is and maybe we work with that. So, no, because I agree with you. We don't necessarily want to be told what to do, but at the same time, you do have to have some respect for your neighbors.
Absolutely.
Because I moved from an area that was dark and quiet. I moved here because I wanted even more dark and quiet.
Mhm.
I got except for the 8,000 cars a day that go in front of my house, of which 9,000 of them don't even live here, but that's a whole nother conversation. Do the math on
Who
that.
the heck is driving past your house?
Oh, it's all the time and it's speeding. I would love to have that 25 mile. an hour
I
sign.
drove by yesterday and I wasn't speeding, okay?
I didn't see you.
I went to look
There's a lot of
at the
traffic that drives through my
reservoir.
house and I don't know any of them.
Why?
Well, the artist people have a lot of visitors.
These are
there.
not artist people, because they're going right past Dahl and right past Kurt's house too.
Really? Well, not
That just-
Ken, but like the gal, what, in the White House, what's,
Dahl. She lives
okay,
by me.
doll, yeah.
She just-
I'd drive past your house if I got a blade down.
Mhm. No,
That's it.
You'd be surprised at the traffic. I would love to have one of those cables across the street and the speed thing up there, and I think you guys would be shocked at what comes up there.
Well, I've been asking for a 25
You should
miles
have.
per hour sign forever and nobody will do anything.
That's
about
because
it.
you're 30 miles an hour.
It's
I
because,
know, it needs to be 25 because everybody else residential area around here is 25.
we,
Well, then it's
we
twice
worked with the
35.
sheriff on that, they did a study on that, that's why it hasn't been changed, just so you know. They worked on it, they didn't ignore you.
I looked at the speed data too.
Yeah, they do get data from
And-
those signs.
The sign collects
Okay,
data.
This is the deal. If you have it 30, aren't they going, they're going to more than 30. If you have it 25, maybe they'll go.
But they had, the sign collects
You know
speed.
what? I would love to see that data. How can we get a hold of that?
Talk to Deputy Dudson.
Dutson.
He can show it, but literally, the average speed on your street is 33.
It should be less than that. Because we've got.
Well, it's 3 mile an hour over the speed
Yeah,
limit,
that's not
right?
bad, but I'm saying
So-
I don't want it 30, I want it 30. It should be
Well-
25, because do you know the streets that are down, like Salem Canal Road, 25?
Yeah.
That's residential, and all this is, all Woodland Hill is residential.
So what you just need to do is talk to the mayor, get it on the council minutes or agenda.
Agenda.
Get all of the people you know that also want it at 25, get them in here, and we'll make it change.
I agree with you, I think it should be 25, but they did the study,
Janet and I were supporting up at 25 mile an hour,
we were,
and we got overvoted.
Okay, but why? What was
The data didn't support it.
Yeah, but the data,
What we had been told was there was large numbers of people speeding in excess of 40 mile an hour down the street, which it's not true, right? Because
yeah. yeah.
it captures
The data.
all of it,
Yeah.
right? Every single car that goes past. The highest, do you know when the highest speeding is? Sunday
Yeah.
morning
Churches.
Yeah,
is
In
the
and out of
is the worst. Out? No,
yeah. In.
just in.
Going to.
Right? Nobody speeds
That's our
up the
ward.
hill, right? But so that's really the biggest thing is it's
yeah, because it
it's
collects
short.
the times a day
Um,
too.
Yeah, so we have times of day. We have
Right, and I do remember you saying that.
80% mean. We've got 100% mean. You've got average speeds. You've got every single car, the number of cars.
Yeah. But I think.
So-
Well, I've got something that skews your data. All the construction of the two homes,
Mhm.
that as you're coming around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
When it's scary, I've had it happen once. I almost head on with somebody because of all the traffic that's parked. People go slower, which is gonna skew your data than normally just.
That speed sign's a long ways from that construction.
Oh, it
So-
is.
So by then, the normal traffic patterns pick back up.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
silly that it's 30 because, that just is, it should be 25.
Yeah, like I said, if you guys want it 25, come in. You've already got 2 votes.
You just
Most
need
likely.
one
I'm
more.
not going to speak completely for Janet,
No,
but
I agree with you.
So you only need one
if
more.
you
don't
get
need
enough
3
people
more
here,
votes. You only need one.
Dora will vote for you. Period. Done.
I'm sure.
Oh,
Four
so what do I
Seasons-
do?
Laurel is sympathetic to residents.
Gather some of your neighbors that feel the same as you do and then talk to the mayor
Get it on the agenda.
and get it on the agenda for city council. And then you and your friends need to come and say, we want this changed and this is why.
Four Seasons is your ward, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, because there's no speed limit in Four Seasons.
It's
it's the
25.
same. It's 30.
Why would it be 20?
There's
Yeah,
no sign.
It's 30.
There's no
it's
sign.
30. Well, I bet you they would.
No, we changed it. We changed it to 25. They don't have a new sign up yet, I don't think. We talked
I
about
thought
it
it
later.
was
Why would
sorry.
that be 25 and then-
Because they're condensed, the houses are very, very close
Yeah,
together.
but you know what?
And they
It's
don't
not
have any
like that.
yard and the people pull out of their driveways and if cars are going too fast and people are backing out of their driveways and there's little children playing there on the sidewalks because they have sidewalks.
Yeah, but I mean, our front doors are as close to the road as theirs are there.
Just rally your troops. You'll get it.
That's
He's told you what to
that's
do.
the
Just do it.
process.
Okay, talk to the mayor and then bring.
Get on the agenda.
Get on the agenda.
And then get everybody here that's interested.
Get on what?
City
City
council.
council agenda. Mhm.
And if it's all 25, it's easier to remember.
That's right, that's my point.
That was our argument.
And instead of.
Personally,
Woodland
I wanted
Hills
25
Drive-
across the whole city, but I got really not loved there. I didn't even get Janet's support on Woodland Hills Drive at
Well,
25.
Woodland Hills Drive, almost all of the houses are really set back.
You want to know the most dangerous part of the road in this entire city?
What?
Right here.
The curve by the city building.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
It's corner.
And
come
that's
around both
25.
directions. It
And that's
is
25?
nasty.
Yeah.
Drops down to 25.
It's
That's where it goes to
25.
25.
It's 25 from here
Oh,
all
yeah,
the way up.
to the top. It's 35 till right before here, then it's 25 all the way.
So
to
I
the-
live,
Yeah, 25. It should
right
say
there.
25.
I live just right there, so I come out this street right here every single
And
day.
it's scary to pull up.
And I have to floor it probably 50% of the time because somebody whips around that corner and it's
Yeah.
gonna just clock me.
Sorry.
It's nice.
All right, moving on.
I give you the finger and yell and throw stuff at you.
So how do we want to do this with the lighting? Do we want to
That's
digest
on the
it?
public
and-
record.
I would like these two to become familiar with the lighting ordinance and then,
Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing.
then look at
I
future
built-
enforcement.
I built 6 years ago, right? And this was heavily enforced.
on
So
you.
it sounds, oh yes.
Okay, I built 6 years ago and not a peep was said.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe it's because I
If you
built.
were already in compliance,
Were you general?
Yeah, I'm a general.
I know you're a general, but
I
were
general
you
my
the
own
general?
house.
Okay. For me, Corbett, when he came and inspected my home, we looked at every single thing. He checked every single one of my lights to make sure. Now, maybe it was in proximity to the city building. I don't know. But this was heavily, I was informed what my options were for lighting
See, and I don't think
and everything.
a peep wasn't made to me
Right.
all through the entire process.
So now we've shifted to sunrise. I don't know, right? I'm building a home right now around the corner from here. Hopefully get concrete tomorrow. Make sure we don't
So
get
you
any
want to
rain.
follow up with Sunrise and see if that's something they've been instructed?
They're
to
coming
look at?
tomorrow to do an
To yours,
inspection,
So you can have.
so
that
I'll talk to
conversation.
them, right? But they should.
Responsible for some-
The
Sunrise is a subcontractor that the city's hired.
But who,
Are they doing all of it?
who tells them?
They're doing
what
all the
to
city
do and not to
inspections.
they follow the ordinances.
we do.
What it is, they're gonna do what the city's told them to do. So as long as that's on their checklist, then you can lean on them to enforce it. They may say, we don't know anything about it. I don't know.
That's what I'll find out tomorrow.
That's what he can find out.
That would be wonderful.
Would you let us know as a committee?
Yeah, and if I forget, I've got a billion other inspections coming up, so we'll make that happen.
Let's see,
Right.
do you want to pursue the basketball?
I have an idea. I'm not gonna say the name because we're on public record and I haven't talked to the person, but I have somebody that lives in the community who has an interest in basketball and who is a contractor. That's easy.
Narrow that down to one.
And is a good friend of my husband and I. So I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get him to spearhead.
He's part-time resident here and part-time somewhere down south.
Yes,
Yeah, I know.
St. Peasy. Yes. So I'm gonna see if I can get him to spearhead something. It literally is just cement and 2 standards, especially where we don't have any light.
It's just grading it out, getting some gravel compact, yeah.
And he has the equipment for that.
He does.
Would it be a regular size?
Uh-huh.
basketball court?
Just a full, just,
Standard?
yep, just in between the pavilion and the playground, there's a flat spot already, fairly
He's got
flat. He could just, I talked to Sherry about just trying, he just hasn't been back, that's why I haven't talked to him. Is he
I
back?
talked to her Saturday.
Yeah.
They were up this
She was
weekend,
on Saturday.
Okay,
but they were heading back down.
yeah. I can even have my husband reach out, but, so Sherry and I talked about if, maybe we can get this one thing done and get it checked off and then we're making progress. And that's affordable, something that's easy to do, tangible, fairly inexpensive, and then we can like check that off and then we can move on to pickleball.
Well, I'm looking at recreation grants that don't have to be submitted until it's the 23rd of May. And we could get some money there for standards.
Well, we might even be able to get,
Concrete, yeah.
yeah, some
Or if we get
donations.
donated ones, yeah.
And if we need labor, I think my husband knows a bunch of high school kids that we could get to come and they did one, they actually went, this winter, they went to the food pantry and and they loved it. Like they loved doing the service. And several of the kids were like, we need to do more of those kinds of things. So I think we could, if we need labor, we can get. So I just need to talk to Jimmy.
Okay, and I'll look into the grant.
I don't know.
Ooh, other business, quickly. I talked to Jody a little bit ago, and people that are on the PTR committee, there's 19. And their 2 years is up. So I think, what do you propose that,
I reached out to one of them. Remember, I told you I would. And he said, I'm down the hole. Well, he just said he feels like we always just talk about the same things every time and that we don't get anything done. But then I talked to him and said that I feel like he has a lot of good knowledge and connections and we'd like to see him continue to be involved. And so he said he's happy to continue to participate, but he would like to see us make some progress and impact. And we do have the ordinance. I think when we get the grant through and we can get that done, and then if we can get this other little thing at the park, then I think we're starting to make an impact.
Yeah.
It does take a minute to kind
It
of
does.
get some momentum going and figure it out, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, and I think we need to also encourage them to submit their own agenda items, right? What
Yes.
do they want to talk about,
Because
What-
these
what
are
brings
kind of
them
the
to
standard
committee?
running ones, right? That we talk about every
Yeah,
time.
nobody ever calls me and say, let's put this on the agenda.
I did get a message from a gal, it was a little bit back, but she has a horticulture degree and she wanted to come and landscape, and I put her on ice because it was snowing. I told her, when the snow starts melting, let's talk. But she wanted to do some landscaping here, like she wanted to volunteer, but she'd probably want the city to buy a bunch of trees and flowers and all the things. I don't know that we have the budget, but we should get her on our beautification committee, if nothing else. And so,
It's looking pretty shabby down
yes,
there.
but she has like design, like we talked about doing the roundabout and upgrading it. And she could maybe draw some, or give us some ideas and some plant suggestions.
Plants and then start
color.
chasing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd be a really good resource. So I'll reach back out to her. I saved her in my,
Yeah, that's not looking that great.
Well, but it's end of winter, nothing looks good.
Yeah.
Have you seen my yard? Everything's like,
I was gonna say,
Before winter.
I did drive by and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Things are
know. All
looking-
my bushes are like,
You slipped the line.
I know, it looks terrible.
Well,
So should we write a letter to the 19
So you'll ask her
people and
specifically.
ask?
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna add something else to that. I'm gonna be resigning from this committee June 1st. I have got so much stuff going with fire right now and EMS, working with Rachel and Craig, and that's been my priority. I want to stay involved with the lighting ordinance. So I'm 100% on that, but I've got to step back a little bit on the other stuff. I'm still dealing with the winter blues from plowing so much. that
We burned you out, didn't we?
It just was
We
a
good.
lot. And then I couldn't go biking anywhere in the state because it was all buried. So I've been biking the last couple of weeks. So,
That's why I went camping this weekend. Sun, sand, and water.
yeah, I was in Price yesterday. I've
yeah.
been to Moab 3 times in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, Grand Staircase. And we went in a slot canyon that had a little creek running through it the whole time. And we got a little bit of sun and it was so good.
Yeah, see my son from yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'll send a formal letter, email out to everybody. I do want to be involved with dark sky or lighting, I'm going to call that. So however you want to package that, I would love to be, but I'm going to let somebody else step into this other position.
We need,
So be thinking who you want.
we need some people.
Can we put that on the website?
I can. I can.
I think you should.
Oh, I know who. I know somebody who wants to be involved.
Well, we've got to reach out to them and,
We've got new people coming and moving into these.
who were the people that came last event? Somebody came up and was like, I want to be involved.
Yeah, that's the person I'm thinking. They're up above you.
Oh, is that
They're
the
the one that has the.
glass house?
That just
Airs?
Again, up on the curve. With the big huge driveway. That melts and comes down the street in front of you guys.
Yes,
It's not the largest
I-
contributor.
Huh?
It's not the largest contributor.
Since it's been there, I've dealt with ice there that didn't exist the last 4 years.
yeah, because I've texted.
I
When
can-
you know who your snowplow driver is, you just go, help me.
I've done justified, in my opinion, salt runs up there that I've never done in the past
Yeah,
because
but-
it all comes off and then freezes as it comes down.
I've done the 15-point turn in my driveway and gone out for front ways and slid side.
All the way down, and you're not the only one. I've had other people talk to me that have been up in your neck of the woods, either visiting or whatever, and they've ended up sliding sideways down that. So
And it's scary because if your tires catch asphalt, you could roll.
then you flip.
Yeah.
I do dump salt heavy on that when we're plowing.
And we have salt, we throw it out there, but it doesn't do
but you-
anything.
You can't.
I
A
know, we
50
don't-
pound bag of stuff that you have doesn't do diddly squat compared to what we can do.
I know. That's why.
But Jody will text me and then Ben,
That's
Can you
because
go
Janet texted me.
can you go hit Broad Hollow?
Well, I don't know I don't know your shifts necessarily.
I am 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week.
Okay.
So.
John and I
Ben
are
is pretty
typically,
similar to that. So,
I'm 6 a.m. to 6
Well,
p.m.
thanks for
So
getting the boys to DC. That's all.
we
I
got you.
between the two of us, we're the majority of the snowplow.
Third in the nation.
Did they? Awesome.
Wow.
Ben and I probably put the most hours in this year. I usually do 100 hours a season. I've done 300 hours.
Wow. So we need new members.
Okay, yeah.
So reach out to everybody and anybody you know, see if you can get them involved.
But if you do a request on that, maybe we'll get a,
It's crazy because I'm over volunteers for the city.
oh, are you?
Nobody ever volunteers.
Yeah.
We're more of a voluntold city.
I have to reach out to people and go, I really need you. Can you help me? No,
You
no,
ask. They don't
no.
volunteer. You have to ask.
I have to know who to ask. And I ask people, who do I ask? That's
Yeah,
what I
that's what
do.
you've got to do, right? Because if you don't, we burn out the same people all the time.
Uh-huh.
Call it the STP club, same 10 people.
Yeah, it always is the same. I've always been on that list. Why?
Because you say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Other business?
But I would love to hear feedback from the Sunrise thing on what their current perspective is on that. I would love to hear that. So.
Next meeting is May 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you reconfirm with Jody that we're good here for that night? In this room at that hour? I just dealt with a scheduling complaint at 6 o'clock next door with somebody.
Who was having problems there?
I'll tell you in
Can
a
we
minute.
adjourn this meeting? Anybody make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
All in favor?
I.
Aye.